Hi there, another weekly connect from Rachie Oti Mum. Today we're talking about saying sorry, all things apologising. I got posed the question the other day, when should you teach your child to say sorry? And my initial response was you shouldn't. And then I thought, well, no, actually you should, but you should never tell your child to say sorry. There's a difference. So I think that as parents, the reason we tell our children to say sorry is for the parent, not the child. I think that when your child does something wrong, telling them to say sorry makes you feel better as the parent, because then they've said sorry. Everyone who is in the situation knows that you don't agree with what your child did and you didn't think it was a very nice thing, just in case anyone was sort of doubting whether you were raising a good child or not. And I don't think it's a conscious thing. I do it all the time. Often my child will do something and I'll be like, oh, Benji, say sorry, that wasn't nice. Oh, my boy, that's not nice, say sorry. And it happens so naturally. We've all been conditioned that way. But the problem is that I think it means that because a lot of us buy into it as parents, we kind of raising children who say sorry very easily but don't necessarily mean it. Because we all know that saying sorry doesn't mean that you're sorry. So then what do you do when your child makes a mistake? So there are just 3 points on this. The first is forget the lecture. Because when your child makes a mistake, probably they're in a bit of state of fight or flight. They know they're in trouble. They know they've done something wrong. And giving them a lecture at this point is not going to solve anything. If you want to teach them something about it, do it at a later point. At this point, the best thing that you can do is try and engage their cortex, try and engage their upstairs brain, the thinking part of their brain. If you want to teach them that the thing they did was wrong, ask them a question. So if your child snatches a toy from another child, ask the question. Say, my darling, why did you snatch that toy? That engages the cortex, it gets them thinking. So instead of shutting you off straight away in a state of, I'm going to either be in fright because I'm in trouble or in fight because I'm going to fight this one off, it helps them to engage and to actually think. And from there you can learn. The next thing I'll say is leave the punishment, which is hard to do because sometimes we want to make things right when our child has done something wrong. But instead of punishing, pose the next question. Well, how can we make this right? Or if we can't make this right, how can we make it better now that we've made a mistake? And this, saying sorry may be what they do. Might be a verbal apology is definitely very often the first step to making things right. But asking them what they can do to make it right and getting them to rebuild what they have broken down means that they are understanding the consequence of their action. They are thinking about what the repercussions of their action were and how those can be fixed. Saying sorry doesn't do that. It is nothing about consequences. It's just about what you should do when you do something wrong. So that's the next thing is really lose the punishment and ask them how you can make it right. And then the final thing really is that teaching children to say sorry is most effective if you say sorry. And we all make mistakes, and we all make mistakes as parents, and we all wrong our children as parents. And it's being brave enough to make a mistake and then apologize for it and figure out how you can do it right and make it right and fix it. And it's through watching that process and then guiding them through that process that they will learn to properly apologize. So those are my thoughts on saying sorry. See how much you catch yourself when you say sorry to your child. And let's make apology and saying sorry an actual meaningful thing for our children and help them realize that mistakes are normal, people make them, but when we make them, we try and make things right. Anyway, let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear your views on this. Have a wonderful week further and we'll catch up again next week.